Hello ITPC, this is Steve, and you're watching Smoking Cardboard. I'm smoking some Wessex Classic Virginia. I wanted to try some fresher stuff here real quick before I stop and make a switch over to some aged stuff that Philly Piper Mike was super kind to send me. And this is one of the Virginias that I like a lot. This is in my Vaughn 5108 9mm pipe. One of the first pipes I got. Apparently there's kind of a thin spot where the liquid is kind of browning the stem there a little bit. But it smokes great. So yeah, this blend is a Virginia. I guess it has a slight perique to it, some said. I don't know. Can't remember what the tin has. It says I don't have it. And to me, I like it. It's got a lot of different flavors. To me, it's got some grassiness to it, but I guess there is some kind of red Virginia tang in there too. But to me, it just kind of has a dried hay tobacco flavor. And I like that a lot, but I guess it has the other stuff. This one's kind of interesting. Pretty sure I only found it out maybe this year. And I started trying all those Wessex blends. And this one comes in 50-gram tins, and they're really not very expensive for a Virginia. It's kind of interesting. I think they're like a lot of places like 10 something a tin. I bought some more tins on tobacco pipes Black Friday sale because they had these in stock at 10 something and then 20% off or whatever that was. I think it was 20% off. So it was like $8 a tin. Pack it away. Just really enjoying this blend. I think there's a number of times where I think when you're new to pipe smoking, you kind of want to I don't know, I want to say validated by the community as a whole, the different blends that you like, and sometimes it feels like, you know, if you're smoking a cheaper blend, maybe you're getting a less good product. But I don't know that that's really how it pans out, you know. Or Golden Size is a tin that's pretty reasonably priced, like $9 50-gram tins or something, and like $12 or $13 100-gram tins that most would say is terrific Virginia with a low perique too. You know, it just sells a lot. And then you have like a lot of bulks here that are a lot cheaper, that are really tasty. So it's kind of silly, but sometimes, I've also heard, you get what you pay for. You might like the Solani, or the Samuel Gawith that just came out, and they're all like $17 tins. I don't know. I guess I'm just learning to be comfortable with what I like, it doesn't, I don't know if I have to have the complexity that everybody else wants, or those sorts of things. But I will say that if a lot of people say, hey, this blend is really good, they really enjoy it, and I didn't enjoy it, just not because it like bit my tongue or anything like that, there's a real, hesitancy to give up on that blend, and I think that's rightly so. I think some other blends that I didn't necessarily agree with at first that I came around to and been like, oh yeah. I mean, certainly flakes and plugs and some of this stuff was incredibly intimidating the first time I got it, of how in the world do I get this in my pipe? Where now, man, besides Englishes, I pretty much almost exclusively only smoke something that's been pressed and is kind of still pressed. That's what's kind of nice about this cut, is that it's kind of like a broken flake, which makes it super easy to pack, which I really like that about both the Amphora Burley, Kentucky Burley, this Wessex, Virginia, even like Exhausted Rooster. They come in flakes, but their flakes aren't, heat pressed, kind of like the European ones are, so they fall apart pretty easily. Just make it easier to pack. Not that the other ones aren't worth, messing with. Yep, there's just something different about flavors when you got that pressed tobacco that tastes good, and it smokes slower. If you want longer smokes, they're going to be longer. I think they're just a little bit easier to pack too, because the pieces are kind of already packed. But maybe it's because that's why I mostly smoke now. All right, well, let me pause this. Well, let me show it off first. Okay, so I don't know how great you guys are going to be able to see with the lighting that I have here, but the stuff Mike sent me is 10 years old, and it's a lot darker. I would say it looks closer to a Kentucky blend that's fresh now compared to the other one that's Virginia. And the notes in it were very much more I think I even said meaty. Chocolate. It's some of that plumminess that we associate with so many of these. I mean, whenever I give a jar like this to my wife to smoke, she's like raisins, plums. Getting that for sure here. So, anyway, I'm going to pause this. All right, we're back. Same pipe, same blend, just different age now. So I did grab the tins. This is the old tin. It says matured dark red Virginia flake, ready rubbed. Pretty similar to the newest tin that I just bought. Yeah, obviously leaving space for the warning that we don't need to have anymore here in the States, but elsewhere they do, so I'm sure they just don't do different labels because costs. And here it says a fairly strong dark Virginia flake with perique. So here it mentions the perique. And this other one, it does not. So that's kind of interesting. Well, I can tell you on first light, it's pretty different taste to the blend. I immediately noticed, I even switched out the filters to make sure I wasn't getting anything weird out of that. But I noticed immediately that it's kind of like switching the gear, smoother, not tasting quite as harsh. Not that that blend is very harsh to me, but it's got a little bit of harshness, especially compared to this. This one has, yeah, it's just has a depth difference. There's a different sort of sweetness. Still similar taste, but way less that dry hay and more into the savory taste. But it's interesting how much sweeter this tastes. I don't know if the blend is exactly the same. Obviously those descriptions were different. But it's certainly really good and a lot different. Can see why someone might prefer a fresh tin over an aged tin or vice versa, because they taste so different. Just really smooth. There's more uniform flavor. Like before I was kind of getting the hay grass with this like Virginia tang. And now I'm just kind of tasting this. It's almost like a little bit of a slight sweetness of a candy with this darker Virginia, let's say mix of reds and brights. I think it says reds all on here, but yeah, just a bit smoother. I'd say a lot bit smoother, but really delicious. So I haven't had a lot of aged tobaccos. I had an aged Mac Baren, what's it called? Not thinking. Virginia Burley. And that was from Dudes of Pipes, Chelsea. It was really kind. And it was really, you just want to keep smoking some of those. So I can understand why people would buy the aged tins from other people or celery. But really finding this tasty. I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. I don't know. Some element makes me think of Gawith Hogarth, darker Virginia blends and flavor. I'm not really able to pinpoint which one that would be, but I'm enjoying it. I guess that's all I can say right now. Anything else, I would just be lying. Snowing. Supposed to get snow from about 3 p.m. today until 6 a.m. tomorrow. Maybe get 7 inches. Man, I love snow. There's just something magical about snow. It's just comforting. It's nice. It's fun. Nothing's worse than just having the cold and no snow. Then it's supposed to warm back up for a couple days. It's supposed to get up to 50 here, which is that's weird. Maybe rain, ruin it all. And tomorrow I'm gonna play some board games with some good friends, and I am super looking forward to that. That is my idea of fun. So I'm glad I get to do that. Trying to find adults that have time to play games and play the sort of games that I like to play is challenging feat nowadays. I don't know, it's always been a challenging feat, I suppose. I always feel like I have tricked someone into it. But hope you guys are all well. Probably this next week I'll try to put together some details on the stats that I put together throughout the year. I try to log all the tobaccos that I smoke, each smoke. I roughly rate them 1 to 10. But I'm thinking I might need to make a harsher scale because I don't know. I have a tendency to smoke the blends that I like. So most of them are like, the smoke was good. And sometimes it'll be not good, but it's not tobacco's fault. Maybe it's the weather or whatever. But we'll get into that. So until next week, y'all have a great weekend. Bye.